Now, I know you've been trying to shallow out that club. All the pros are doing it, and for good reason, and you should be too. If you are sick and tired of coming down steep and cutting across the ball, and you want to start getting this club to shallow out, get in the slot, and that way you can just turn and burn through contact and be very consistent, then I have a great drill for you. But first, let's discuss what exactly is shallowing. I do think there is some confusion on this. So this is my definition of what shallowing is. Shallowing is the act of bringing this club from a steeper position, more straight up and down position, to a flatter position in the start of the downswing. All tour players are doing some motion like this in the downswing. You just can't be consistent. You're going to cut across the ball. You're not going to have control of the club if you're not doing that. There are some players that start down a little bit steep and then shallow it later. Phil Mickelson would be one of those, but most players are doing some act of shallowing out the club in the start of the downswing. But there are two major issues that I see people struggling with whenever they are trying to shallow out the club. Number one is they're trying to shallow out the club in the backswing, right? So if I go like this, roll the club inside, bring it very, very inside, and I'm like this as I'm getting up to the top of the swing, it's very, very shallow and flat. Well, then in the downswing, I'm going to tend to do the opposite. I'm going to tend to come down steep because all my momentum, everything is just going to be wanting to go that way in the downswing. So that's number one. And then number two is people just aren't exaggerating enough, right? They're just trying to ease into it. They're not really going to make much headway on shallowing if we're just trying to barely shallow out the club. We need to really try to crazily shallow out the club. So I have a great drill for you that's going to help eliminate both of those issues. It's what we call the wall drill. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a head cover and you're going to put it on your club, and you're just putting the head cover on your club so that way you don't mar up your wall. What I want you to do is kind of back up to a wall here, and I want you to get about a foot away from it. So if I take my foot like this and go a foot away from it like that, that's about where I want to be. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the top of the swing without touching the wall. So that eliminates that first issue that I talked about, right? That eliminates the issue of bringing the club too far inside to begin with and shallowing it in the backswing. That allows us to get it in a good position at the top, so that way we have room and all the momentum's going in the direction that's going to help us to shallow out the club. So that's number one. We're just going to go up to the top. We're not touching the wall. Now, as we come down, right, we want to put the club on the wall when we're starting down, and we want to slide this club down the wall, and we want to do that all the way down to about waist level. And that's really exaggerated. You know, this club is very, very far from the inside. I really wouldn't want to swing this club that far from the inside. And that's why a lot of people don't do that when they're practicing that, because they know, oh, I don't want to be that far from the inside. But that's what we have to do in the beginning stages of making any kind of change. We have to exaggerate the other extreme. So I would have the mindset that I can't really overdo this. And if I do, then all I have to do is ease off of it if I do, right? If we actually get to where we're hitting balls and we are over shallowing out the club, then all we have to do is ease off of that feeling to get more to where we want to be. If we just continue to ease into it, and just try to chip away at it all the time, you're always going to have your old habit of coming down steep. It's going to keep pulling you back. You may feel like you have it, and then all of a sudden you start coming down steep again. But if we really exaggerate this, and we really shallow it out, get super shallow, then we know what it takes to get back to where we need to be very easily. We can get back there just like that. So that's why I recommend not just easing into it. Let's really exaggerate it with the mindset that I can just ease off of it if I need to. But the reality is you're probably just going to be closer to where you want to be if you really exaggerate it. All right? So again, about a foot away, I'm going to go up to the top, and I'm going to do this, go up to the top, not going to touch it, and then I'm going to come down to waist level. So let's talk about what's happening. You don't need to know what these things are, but I always like to break down what's exactly happening with your arms and your shoulders and what's moving that's different than what was before. Again, you don't need to know these things, but it's good to understand what's happening, because it just helps you. You know, if you can pinpoint, okay, well, I know, okay, my shoulder's not doing this, then you can focus on that part and it can help you to get it working out. But if you just do this and you keep it on the wall, you'll automatically do everything that I'm talking about. So number one is in our shoulder here. What's happening is when we're coming down, we are externally rotating our shoulder, right? So you can think of that as losing an arm wrestling contest. My shoulder joint here is externally rotating. And the reason why when we roll it inside that makes it very difficult is that we overdo that, and then in the start of the downswing, we want to win the arm wrestling contest. So that's why we don't want to overdo the external rotation in our shoulder at the top of the swing, so that way we have room to lose the arm wrestling contest in the downswing. So that'd be number one of the major things that's helping you to shallow out the club. The next thing would be the rotation in our forearm. So if I were to pin my elbow to my side here, and I rotate my hand to where my palm's kind of pointing up to the sky, you can imagine how that's shallowing out the club, right? That's what's called supination. So that's outward rotation of our forearm here. That's supination or supination, some people call it. That's what's happening there. So those two things combined are really helping you to shallow out the club. There's some other factors in there, but those are the two major things that are happening differently. When you're coming down steep, it's the opposite, right? You are internally rotating with your shoulder, and a lot of times your forearm is going to be pronating, which is the opposite of supinating or supination, right? It's going to be pronation, where it's inwardly rotating, right? So those two things together are really getting this club shallowed out and coming from the inside. So that's what I'd recommend doing. Do a lot of drills where do this at home, find a wall that, you put your head cover on, it won't scratch it up. But find, a brick wall works great. Or even if you have a wall outside in your house, in your garage, or anything like that, it's a great place to work on this and really get that sensation of that club working down. And then when you go to the range, you just want to take the head cover off, right? And then have that same sensation, right? They're coming down, and this club is dragging all the way down the wall to here, and then coming through. So if I went to the range, I'll go up to the top, I'd feel like I'm away from the wall, then I'd go really slow coming down here, I'd feel like it's away from the inside, and then I would turn through it. That's the other thing too. Once we get here, we want to turn through the ball, right? Because if I get here and I just kind of stand up and throw it like I did before, I'm probably going to hit the ground back here. If I just drop it, right, I'm going to hit the ground. So I want to get here, and then I want to turn through it so that way I can hit the ground where the ball is. It's very, very important for that, right? So there's still one problem with this, right? And the major problem is that we're not able to get this face squared up as we're coming down. We need to learn the proper wrist angles as we're coming down. So we went over what's going on in our shoulder and our forearms. Next, it's the wrist angles, and that's what squares up the face. That's another major problem that people have. That's really the third major problem that people have with shallowing, is that they'll do all this stuff, but then the face is wide open, and then they just push it off to the right. So I have a great video for you where Clay Ballard, the founder of Top Speed Golf, is going to go over the technique for the wrist angles that's going to allow you to get that club face squared up. So we're going to get that club shallowed out, then we're going to get that club face squared up. Because what you were doing before is you were really flipping and rolling over your hands to get the face squared up, right? So you get it here, and then we really kind of stand up and flip and turn over the hands. That does square up the face, but that's not the way we want to square up the face. That's not the way the tour players are doing it. The way the tour players are doing it is they're getting it shallowed out, they're getting it working from the inside, and they're turning through, and they got that face square already. So there are specific things that we need to be doing with our wrists to be able to make that happen. And this is what we call the anti-roll method. So if you stay tuned, I'm going to play a preview of that video. But if you want to see the whole video, just click the iCard that's going to appear up on your screen. If you don't see the iCard, no worries. Just click the link in the description below. Play well, and I'll talk to you soon.
Here's the bottom line. If you've been taught to roll the club in the early downswing, that causes the shaft to get steep. And that steep club causes all your problems. It causes you to hit it way behind the big hitters and way inconsistent with your quality of strikes. So you're in the tall grass and the trees and the hazards all day long. Now the great news is this. There's really only two pieces that you need to know to fix all these problems. The first one is we need to learn the proper way to square up the club face. Instead of rolling the forearms and getting steep, there's another way that the pros do this. Once you learn this right way to square up the club face, then you can shallow out from the inside and everything starts to fit together. Now I'm going to teach you this right now in what I call the anti-roll method. You may also hear this called the motorcycle move or the tour twist, but let's walk through exactly how to do that. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and go kind of in the last parallel in the downswing. So here, I want my hips to go ahead and be opening up. I want my club to be parallel with the ground, and I want my hands to be in front of my right thigh. Now, when I take my grip, you're going to notice that when I do this, the club face is basically straight up and down. So if I'm looking at it from this angle, you'll see the face is straight up and down, and my logo of my glove is pointed out in front of me. Now from there,